Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today I'm reviewing Caesar's Empire from Holy Grail Games. Caesar's Empire is a 2 to 5 player game in which players are going to be creating pathways out of Rome. All roads lead to Rome, as it were, and in this case, that's basically the game. The game is all roads lead to Rome, but then also you're trying to score a whole lot of points along the way, and also they're not really roads so much as legionnaires, but I guess legionnaires are cooler. I mean, so let's take a step back over here. First of all, I said from Holy Grail Games. I don't know what's up with Holy Grail Games right now, so I don't know who's fully responsible for the title currently, but from Holy Grail Games. Secondly, I don't know about you, but I read Asterix and Obelix growing up. I should have put the comic books on the table. I should have had I have the whole comic book, full set of this. I love the world this is built on. That and Tintin were core parts of my childhood. Third of all, now let's get to the actual review, because that was just background information, but this is Caesar's Empire, a 2 to 5 player game which you're going to be building roads out of Rome. You're trying to do so to earn as many points as possible through a combination of things, through the process of building roads, through the set collection of the various resources and how they're going to score on your personal player boards, and then through the actual cities that you're going to collect those tokens. That's a kind of background information as far as what you're scoring. And then lastly, whoever has the most legionnaires left at the end of the game scores a bonus 10 points as well. On your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to take a legionnaire, or sometimes multiple legionnaires, and you're going to create a distance, well, not distance, you're going to create a connection point between an unexplored city and Rome. That's the goal. You need to connect one unexplored city to Rome on your turn. Not two, not zero, a single unexplored city. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and place this down over here, and purple is going to take this tile and put it onto the purple player board, which is over here, which I realize now is confusing because we got blue on that side, purple on that side. Let's go ahead and change that around. Boom, we put it down. Excellent. Done. That is a turn. Purple's also going to get 1 point because you connected one road. From here to here, there's one purple road involved. Meanwhile, red is going to go ahead and take advantage of that, and they're going to go ahead and create a connection point between these over here. So red's going to put down two cities, two roads as it were, to connect the next city. In general, you're always connecting a new city backwards to Rome, however you can afford to do so, as long as it's one new city. So for example, you could not go like that, because that would be 2 new cities on a turn. So that's not legal, but otherwise you're not limited in the number of roads you can place. Over here, red's going to take this, and let's move out of the game, because over here, red's going to take that, we're going to move out of the game, and we're going to go ahead and have blue jump in over here, and blue's going to, let's say, over here, purple will get a single point, and red will get 2 points. In general, as you connect pathways, you always get rewarded for being one of the pathways back to Rome. Meanwhile, blue over here is going to decide how they want to handle this, and they're going to go ahead and, maybe they're going to start a new pathway out over here. So blue's going to go down this way, get a single point, and connect this wheat token over here, which will go onto their player board. We'll explain more how all this player scoring will work, and blue gets a single point. Then we go to green, and green also wants to get in on their own little point scoring, so they're going to actually jump off this direction, taking that one, and we'll put that off to the side. Then it's back to purple. Purple's trying to figure out exactly what to do over here. They could place this down over here. It's not the craziest, but you know what? I think they're actually going to jump out this way, and there's a reason for it. It does make sense, but we'll see it in a second. They're going to connect this, which means this will go onto the player board like so, and they'll connect that city token. It's back to blue over here. There's a blue, blue, red. Red was next. Red's going to go, and red's actually going to jump off this away, because red, by going here, I forgot to take points. Purple's going to get 3 points over there, 1, 2, 3, and red will get 2 points, 1, 2. Red will go down over here with these two, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 for red. So going from 4 to 8, and purple will get a single point, and that's the pathway there. Red's going to connect this. We'll take that off the board. Now it's back to blue over here. Blue's going to continue their jump, and they're going to just keep rewarding themselves on this little pathway. So they're going to go out that way, which means 3 points for blue, 1, 2, 3, and they'll also collect this token, which means they'll take that, put that down there, and put this down on their board like so. Then we're back to green. Green also kind of wants to go ahead and jump out, but this is where you want to take a look at see how gold works, because gold has its own scoring metrics. Green's going to go out this way, and then because gold was taken, every road is worth 2 points, which means instead of 3, it's worth 6 points, and they also got this tile over here, which is really helpful, and they're going to go ahead and move up 6 points, and they're going to go to 6. They also should have gotten 1 for that one. They should be at 7 total. We're back to purple. Purple's going to be a little clever now and loop around over here. So now the shortest pathway back over here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 points for purple because we're connecting gold, and 4 points for red. So red will go from 8 to 12, and purple will go from 6 to 14 over here, and then also collecting this tile and this gold. Gold goes on its own separate track down here, where it's going to score for the square value of whatever you have. So 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, mostly square value, because 7, no, square value. The only one that bothers me is you do not get 1 point for that 0, which is a small little nitpick, but it kind of ruins 1 squared is 1, and then 2, 4, 6, the rest of them work. Why not give a person 1 point for collecting 1 gold? I don't know why. Either way, back around to blue over here, to red I mean. Red's going to go, and red's going to try to decide exactly how to play this. Red might actually jump out. How can we do this? So red right about now has a few options on the table. I think what red will do is red can just jump. You know, red's just going to go for the distance. Going to go out over here, grabbing that tile there. Red's going for pure distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a point for purple. So purple gets 1, red gets 12 to 18. We're back to blue. Blue is going to actually go ahead and try to figure out how to connect outwards. Blue doesn't like what's happening in this grid over here. So blue kind of wants to get more. You know, we're going to go down here, and blue will take this tile over here, grab that, and get 3 points. It's actually next to only 2 points for blue, 1 point for green. So these are a little further behind. We'll see if they can catch up. Green, in the meantime, still wants to continue their exploratory pathway. So green is going to go, you know what, green's actually going to jump in on this game, getting 6 points for green because they're collecting a gold, and then 4 points for blue. So blue's going to go from 6 to 10, and 6, 8 to 14. That's going to be that pathway. Meanwhile, I know it's basically just playing the game. We'll do like another round or two because I want to show you some clever moves. We're going to go to purple over here. Purple's actually going to do something interesting. Purple could go like this and connect this gold. Instead, they can go like this, which leads to an interesting pathway where now that's the shortest road back to Rome. So they're going to collect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 points, and 4 for red. So red goes 22, purple goes to 25, and you're going to collect that tile over there and place this down on your grid. We're now scoring for that gold. We're back to red over here. Red is again continuing the long pathway out over here and trying to figure out exactly how to min-max for it. Red's actually going to do a similar little trick. They're going to loop around over here for this gold over here, getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 2 for purple. So 16, 22, 38, and they collect that tile. This is about where we're going to stop going through this motions, although maybe it's worth trying to show you one other thing. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's take this over here. So we're going to take this tile off the board to show you one more thing. Right about now, let's pretend it's currently green's turn. Green might be concerned that red's going to place a piece down here and then score again for that giant pathway. So something green can do on their turn is you can put down any number of roads as long as you connect only one new city. So for example, placing this through an empty city like so connects a viable pathway, denying red the opportunity to go for that chain scoring over there, cutting off that pathway. Similarly, green could also have gone like this, you know, to the same exact idea over there, but possibly scoring others along the way. Basically, you always have the opportunity to place down roads to connect to Rome as long as you're connecting one and only one new city. You're going to keep doing that until all the things are taken off the board, at which point the game will trigger, but this is how you're going to score. You're going to score based on where your point trackers are along the board as you go, but you're also going to score for getting whoever has the most legionnaires or rows left in their supply, then the game gets 10 points, and you're going to score for your board. The way these boards score is for each city region, you're going to score your highest value only. So this 5 effectively covers that 3, and you can get 5 plus 5 plus 1 for a total of 11 points worth of cities. So you want to be mindful of not concentrating too heavily in the same city, because you might be giving up points than how you spread outwards, being part of a global network. This game rewards you with points in a ton of different ways, and it's up to you to try to figure out those ways forward, because, you know, getting your own little region where you can score in the same points and keep looping back each other will reward you with extra points, but it also means you're not being part of the growth of the industry and the growth of the network in general, and you won't be able to get a little bit of a piece of your hand in every pot, so to speak, by getting each city. You're also going to score for the square value of your coins, as we talked about already. You're going to score for the number of different resources. However many sets of different resources you have, you're going to score for them, but you're also going to score for sets of the same resources. If you get all 4 wood, and yes, there's only 4 wood, you're going to get 20 points, which is a huge chunk of points. In a game that generally has between 100 to 130 points is a typical endgame score, although it does depend on player count. You'll find that getting 20 points because you just scored all 4 wood is incredibly impactful, and you're also denying anyone else the opportunity to ever jump from 32 to 46 if you ever get 4 of a color. Again, depends on player count. There are differences depending how you go through that, but that's basically going to be what you're scoring for in the game. And that is how you play Caesar's Empire. Continue placing roads, score points as you play, score points at the end game, try to figure out how to most efficiently place down your roads to score more points than all the other players as you build out the network of Rome. And from there, let's go into the ease of play. Well, ease of play on this one is like a 3 or 4 page rulebook and a 5 or 6 minute teach. The strategy is a different conversation than the actual rules. The rules themselves are 4 minutes. I can get you up and running in 4 minutes. I mean, you watched me just play through half a game as I went through it. Granted, a little faster because I'm not as invested in the decisions and I'm just trying to run through it over here. But you can see, you can get a sense of how to play by just going through what happens, showcasing scoring. Very easy game to explain. Plays at around 30 to 45 minutes, maybe 30 to 60, but it depends on the player group. If they know what they're doing and all that, I think you can knock out a game of this in 30 to 45 minutes easily. As far as what I like don't like, and can see others not liking, starting off with what I like. Which, to begin with, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the theme. This is a theme that I like. I like the theme. It doesn't mean I'll like a game just because it has a theme, but I do like the theme. It's not Caesar or Asterix and Obelix is not a common theme in board games, and it's nice to see something I grew up with, you know, plastered onto a board game with, you know, Caesar staring down as he tries to, I mean, weirdly enough, despite the theme being centered in the Asterix and Obelix world, it's not on Asterix and Obelix, for better or for worse, but ultimately it works. I like the theme. I find the art, the aesthetic, the presentation generally charming, but I am very much biased by my growing up with this. Past that, the game is easy to teach, the game plays quickly, the strategy involved to the teach and playtime ratio is very well done. There's a lot to think through as you go through this. This is not a heavy Euro by any means. This is a very light experience comparatively speaking. But the amount of strategic depth as you try to figure out how to create these different loops, how to set yourself up well while also making sure others get punished, or not really punished, but denying others points, there's a decent amount of thinking through how your turns are going to operate as you go through this relative to the playtime and mental depth and mental exhaustion or energy, whatever you want to take it, or teach of the game. It's just a good ratio as far as giving you a simple enough game. And you could play this game on multiple levels too. It's worth addressing that. This is the kind of game you can teach to a bunch of kids and they can understand how to play and then just play and have a good time playing a sequential set of rules, and that's it. Or you could play against people who are playing meanly and competitively and trying to optimize their score, and it will be an entirely different experience. The rule set is clean and simple, but the depth to which you can play this game far exceeds the simplicity of the rule set, so it has a good ratio, I guess, or various ways to approach or engage with the game. The decisions based around all the things you're trying to do, it just gives you a lot to think through. The city optimization, the resources. Are you going for the most resources? Are you going for different resources? How much gold are you trying to drive in? How much are you trying to set yourself up for the various pathways out of Rome? Because getting those core roads from the beginning can be very helpful, and having a bit of your hand in every pot can make you non-threatening. If you're getting 2 to 4 points on every single road that extends, you're not that much of a threat, and people won't try to stop you. But if you can double up and start getting roads that will score you, 12, 15, 16 points in a single placement, that can also be a big deal. So which way do you try to grow your piece of the puzzle as you are part of Rome's growth and all that stuff? But yeah, lots of things to consider despite the very light game itself. As far as what I don't like in the game, my biggest issue on this is just concerns about long-term replayability. Nothing really mixes up the game to game. It is the same exact thing as you play through this, and the puzzle, the variety of how these resources mix around the board, and there is a different player side. This is a 4 to 5 player side, but a 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 player has a different side. So the slight adjustment to the board, all that, the slight adjustment to the way the resources come out, the cities are actually locked in, so there's no adjustment to all of that, and that's important because you need the cities. Well, within each region, I can make the argument, but within the general idea of the region, you need to have section by section, otherwise that doesn't incentivize being everywhere, which balances out the different pathways you can take in the game. But overall, my biggest concern is just that long-term replayability. There's no goals, there's nothing in the game, like even just goals could have been a big deal in the game to give you a slight difference way you approach it, or asymmetric pair powers. There could be a lot of things. As it is, the game is clean, it's simple, but that potentially has concerns for long-term replayability. As far as I can see others not liking, first of all, it is arguably a light game. Like I said already though, to me it plays on multiple levels. To me it is a light game, but also a light game that has more strategy than appears at first glance, and that multiple level thing takes care of that for me. But it very much is a lighter experience if you're not looking, or very much could be perceived as a lighter experience, and if that's something that scares you off or that's not your type of thing, this is still a light game despite my personal appreciation for the different levels it balances itself on. I'll also say this is a game that can sometimes come down to kingmaking. That is a factor in the game. Sometimes in the game you are simply choosing who to stop, who to deny. Are you denying that person from collecting a set of 4? But if you do that, then the other person will get a set of 4. So very often, depending on where you place down a road, which chain you reward with points. If there's a long green chain and a long red chain, well, someone might be getting points and you choose who to give it to. And in general, while it's true that as in many of these games, you're going to try to optimize both around your own move as well as around who currently is leading from those colors you favor points to. Nonetheless, you could be a factor in denying a player points because that's the thing you need to do, but then it also makes the other player leap ahead. And so there are times where this game will feel like it comes down to kingmaking, even if you are playing it efficiently and the way you should play it, that can still be a factor in the game. As far as final thoughts on Caesar's Empire, I like this game a decent amount with caveats. For me, this is a 4 out of 5, but the caveat being that it almost feels like the score is too generous, even to myself. But I like it a lot. I enjoy it a lot. This is a game that, to me, it's fast, it's punchy, it's easy to table, it's easy to play. It is a game that I do think that the score has a decent chance of lowering over time, especially with concerns about replayability. But at the end of the day, the ease of teaching this and getting people up and running this one versus the simplicity of the play experience itself. It's a game I want to play again, it's a game I want to play again, and it's a game I want to play again, and I'm just not sure how long that lasts. I'm not sure if that lasts for, 10 plays, 15 plays, 5 plays, 4 more plays. I don't know the number of how long that will engage me, because I do have concerns about the replayability. Even though the game itself does play on multiple levels, the simplicity or the lack of variance to the experience is still a factor that has me concerned. But it's a cautious, slightly guilty 4 out of 5 for me, because I think I arguably like it more than I should, but I still very much like it. As far as other game recommendations, first of all, if you're looking for another game that plays on multiple levels, a go-to recommendation for me is always Parks. Parks is a game to me that you could play it in a simple set collection vibe. Alternatively, you can play it with mean, cutthroat degrees of blocking, very similar to the experience you have as you play through Caesar. That idea that you can simply just do your own thing and try to score points, or you can optimize around how you're getting in the way of others as you achieve your own goals at the same time. Very similar vibes to me. And then secondly, another game that had very similar vibes is also Milli Fiori. Milli Fiori from Devira Games is another game that is also one that I felt guilty about how much I enjoyed it. It's just a weird thing, but it's just the idea that being uncertain where you land in a game. But Milli Fiori is another game that I very much enjoy, I have a good time with, and I like playing it, even though it simply comes down to just placing cards and placing pieces on the board, and it actually has very similar vibes at points. Certain areas of Milli Fiori have that aspect of trying to get in early versus trying to cash in all by yourself by doing things on yourself. So there are certain aspects, even within the sub-aspects of Milli Fiori, that kind of share the similarity to Caesar's Empire. In any case, then until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.